Working with other people is an important and common task, whether you're in school or you are in a work environment. And therefore, understanding how to use the collaborative features of something like Outlook becomes very important. Let me show you a couple things that you can do. First, I want to look at how do I invite other people to my event. So I'm going to come over here, pick an event. I'm going to say we're going to do this event over Zoom. Then click on More Details. Now, when I create an event like this in Zoom, I'll usually put my URL or my link that they can use inside of the description. We're going to ignore that because this is just a sample. But if I want to add people, I come over to my right-hand column where it says Add People. If I simply click in it, I get a list of the most common people that I use. So these are people I actually have a lot of communication with already. If someone's not in there, I can type in their name. Once I've picked a person, it's going to show me by default if they're free or not. Now, if they are not free, now let's say I'm working with a couple, 3 people, and it's a little bit hard sometimes to find a time when everyone's free. This is when I use my scheduling assistant. And by clicking on this, I get to see everyone's schedule who's there, and I can visualize on that day when is some free time that everyone has. At that point, I have to pick, okay, what happens if not everyone has free time? Does everyone have to be in this meeting? If the answer is yes, then I need to pick a different day. If the answer is no, then I pick the people that have to be there, and I attend the other people like, hey, you can come if you can. Okay? So this makes it very easy for me to add someone to an event. The next thing you're going to notice is up here in the upper left-hand corner, I can say Send. When I click Send, this saves it for myself and sends a meeting invitation to the attendees. So this becomes very helpful because it now says who's going to attend and lets them know, hey, I've invited you. So if we have something like a Zoom link, they get that. So instead of it just being buried in email, they get put on their calendar. It's on my calendar. They get the notification 15 minutes in advance. They can change it if they want, of course, but then they get a chance to say, hey, yes, I can attend. No, I can't attend. And sometimes people have a work calendar and a personal calendar, and maybe we don't see what's on their personal calendar. So this is a good way of inviting them, letting them know that they need to be part of it. And this can be whether it's a work environment thing or whether it's working with your fellow students, for example, getting together to work on a group project. Now I have a couple of calendars up here, and so I can come up here and say Add Calendar, and I can add a secondary calendar. There's a couple of different ways I can do this. So you need to know how is your organization set up to know how to add those calendars. The other way that you can get these is if it's shared with you. And so I can come over here and click Share. Now I can't make other people share their calendar, but I can share my calendar with other people. So I'm going to specify someone. When I type in their name, it comes up here, and then I specify what type of level do I want to have. So I have availability only. This is going to show free or busy. I have limited details, which might show things like the name that I give my calendar event, but not any details about it. Full details lets them know everything and see everything. Editor actually allows them to edit my calendar. And this is a lot of power. You got to be careful with this. Now, sometimes you'll see this either like an executive assistant. They'll have editor or delegate permissions for the CEO or whoever their boss is, and then they can go and make changes to the calendar. They can add things to the calendar, etc. But we typically don't give that type of details. Typically, we're only going to do availability, limited, or full details. This also may be set up and configured, either doing it automatically or not doing it by an IT department. So this may be blocked from, but this is a common way that makes it very easy to collaborate with people. So in our case, the events and planning committee, I'm on that, so they added me to the calendar, and then they would have it on their list, and they can see my events along with all of theirs and any other calendars that have been shared with them. Hopefully this has been a good example of how to use Microsoft Outlook to handle your event and calendar management system. This is a very powerful tool that's useful not only inside of school, but also outside when you graduate, as most employers do use Microsoft Office and therefore Outlook to manage not only their emails, but their calendars. So knowing how to do this is a really important skill to learn.